Hello, welcome back to 2 Minute Drill. A lot of really good games this week, boys. I think we got a
Yeah.
pretty good episode today.
Yeah.
sir.
Looking back on some of our predictions from last week is what we'll be doing here most of the
Yeah,
time today, and I'm excited about it because there were some pretty crazy games in all the aspects.
Some great games, all
Yeah.
levels.
yeah. To start off, West Side Elkhorn South, which I thought was going to be the best game of the week. Hoping Elkhorn South would keep it close, they just couldn't do it, and West Side obliterates them, 45-3. Just
Puts up 35
Demolished.
points in the second quarter.
yeah,
That's nuts.
huge game out of Tay Jenkins.
Nuts.
One rushing touchdown with 130 yards on the ground, and then two receiving touchdowns with 140 in the
Crazy,
air, which
yeah.
is crazy. Braylon Warren with almost 250 yards, 3 touchdowns on the night. That is absolutely crazy. No interceptions.
It's a crazy stat line for a high school game.
Yeah, and then on the other side, just Elkhorn South just could not get it going. I mean, Madden Riggs, really good quarterback, just didn't have his best game. Westside defense was all over him. Through
Yeah.
15 passes, only completed 8 for 71 yards and 2 picks.
When you have a defense like that, and you're shutting down them like an offense, I mean Elk South's a good offense too in the state. When you have a defense that's shutting down that much percent of the on shutting down that type of offense in such a high percentage,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like you're gonna win games, and I think that was expected here. West Side's, Miller. I'm really excited to see what I think will be the state championship, Millard South versus West Side, and I think a lot of people are too because it's gonna be really. Both teams have just been dominating all their opponents, so it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. And then the second game, Kearney versus Millard North, a really good game, really close, but Kearney comes up on top 36-33. Really good game.
Close game.
I mean, really good game out of both teams. Both quarterbacks had pretty good games. Zion Rush, Millard North's quarterback, threw for 180 yards, pretty decent. And then Griffin Novosek of Kearney threw for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. So really good game from him. But I mean, Millard North's rushing game was just the game changer.
Yeah.
Colin Bogkratz, 2 touchdowns and 58 yards on the ground, and then another running back, 2 senior running backs.
Sam Tactical.
Yeah, Caden Vermas with 2 touchdowns and 60 yards rushing. So a really big game for those two. Just couldn't capitalize it, I guess, with Kearney's huge game.
And
But,
I think a lot of people thought, or I think what we said was that we thought Millard North was going to win by a lot, just compared to the tough Millard schools and things of that nature. But
Yeah, we
It's
did.
actually-
I think that's what we predicted.
We
Yeah,
did.
I
That's
thought
what
so.
I
Maybe
was
by
saying.
20.
yeah.
And it turned out to be a lot closer game than we thought, and that's always good to have a more competitive game and good show for both teams there. And yeah,
I mean, really good game.
Yeah.
Out of both of them. So really good performance. And then I couldn't get any stats on the Papiola Vista Central game, but Papiola Vista lost 7-17.
Dang.
So
That's another game we had.
yeah.
Papio.
Yeah.
I had Papio blowing them out.
yeah,
Yeah.
really surprising. Compared to if you just use prep as the baseline comparison. I mean, we lose to Papio, and we just barely lose to Central in the final seconds of that game. So
Yeah.
I think it was pretty obvious to all of us who we thought was going to win that game. And
Prove us
by
wrong.
by a decent
decent margin.
decent margin too, and clearly it was proven wrong. So that just goes to show how just game to game
Yeah,
things
stuff
can
It's
vary.
all
yeah.
it's all matchup
especially
stuff.
especially in high school football. Yeah, it's a lot harder to
It's hard to predict.
Yeah,
Yep.
hard to
Okay.
predict.
Going on to college football with
Yeah, and we had
Cole.
2 absolute not
Or
Cole.
Griff, my bad.
We had absolute two banger games.
Huge
I
games.
mean, you probably game of the year so far. Maybe
For sure.
maybe.
I think so.
it is.
I mean, hard to say. Georgia, Alabama was nuts, and
this is up there though.
Vanderbilt
it was a
beating
great
Alabama
game.
was nuts. But
Mhm.
this
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
for
this
sure.
is top 3 without a doubt games of the year.
Mhm.
What we predicted last week: Ohio State versus Oregon. Our prediction from last week was at 31-28. Oregon wins at home. At least that was my prediction. I think Cole
I had
agreed with
Oregon
it,
by 3, and
John had
Iowa
Ohio
State,
State
yeah.
whooping. But it came down to the wire. It really did, to say
you
the
were
least.
pretty dang close.
I know.
Chris.
I was.
2 points off.
Yeah, a little scare there. A little pretty.
And did you see that last play? Will Howard
Mhm.
tries to run it out with like 7 seconds left. Tries to slide to get a better field position. Clock runs out.
Clock runs out.
Yeah.
Final
Just a-
score 32-31. Ducks win.
Yeah.
Big win.
Huge.
And especially, this is the first time Oregon's been number 2 in like
A
it's
long time.
time. And they have capability to go to number 1. Texas is pretty
The stadium was
unstoppable, but,
rocking.
Stadium
Yeah.
was like we
It was
said,
just
stadium
really
was
good atmosphere.
rocking.
That had to have been a factor. Right?
Yeah, Oregon, one of the best college football fan bases, but best atmospheres, along with
Brought out the New Jerseys.
Yeah. Ohio State up there too. But Oregon at home with such a good roster this year, such a good organization, such a good atmosphere. That was going to be a tough game for Ohio State no matter what. And glad Oregon could pull out the win. I wanted them to win. Followed my prediction. Really, really close actually to the final score. And yeah, so here's some stat lines. Yep. Yeah, love the sound effect. Here you got some stat lines from each side here. Dylan Gabriel, he had 341 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of them was a rushing touchdown. He played a really great game. High completion, lots of
Damn.
yards. Yeah, really really good game out of him. That's what they needed to pull out that win. Jordan James, really really solid game from him. 23 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown. That's exactly what you need out of a running back like him. And
Yep.
yeah, just really good showing for him.
Mhm.
And another big player for that team that game was Evan Stewart. Had 7 receptions, about 150 yards and a touchdown. And when you have the a lot of players doing good, that's when you win games. When you have the wealth, you could say, distributed a little bit, the yards and the good stuff. That's when you're gonna win games, especially against really good teams like Ohio State.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm. And
I think on Ohio State, just running let him down. Christian Judkins.
Yeah,
Christian
Judkins.
Judkins.
Yeah.
Really big letdown game.
Mhm,
What about their Oregon's coach at the end that played? You see that? He put 12 on the field instead of 11, so that way the clock ran,
Oh yeah.
and then they had to hurry up.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why.
Yeah, because they would have had.
I think that's why
seconds on-
Will Howard
Yeah.
ran it out.
Yeah,
and
right.
slid.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I agree.
that
Yeah.
was
They thought he
such a
had more
smart
time
play.
on the clock.
They found a.
Yeah, loophole
yeah,
almost.
literally.
Yeah, I bet that's gonna be outlawed or something in the future.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, probably.
'Cause
I
it's
mean,
not
that's
smart.
not
That's
like.
He
That's not
kind of denied it too in the post game interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 'cause that's not like a. I was gonna bring that play up actually. It's kind of ruins almost like, not competitiveness, but it's really smart that he did it. But
Really smart play.
but I bet you that'll get outlawed. in the
Agreed, yes,
future and
agreed.
Stuff and then
100%.
from the Ohio State side, Will Howard, he had 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, and rushing touchdown. Both quarterbacks had 1 rushing touchdown that game. Not as high completion on passes, but still good game from him. I think he's pretty devastated, to say the least, with that slide and time running out. But yeah.
Outside
And
of
then
that, good game.
Judkins probably bust of the game. Everybody's just been talking him up how good he is and stuff, and they really needed him this game, and he did not carry it out. Yeah, 11 carries, 23 yards, and 1 touchdown. But not a great showing from him. That touchdown is there, but
2.1 yards. A carry.
yeah,
It's not good.
not good. And yeah, so I think going forward, they're especially because they can't really afford to lose another game.
Yeah,
They-
they got to win out.
Yeah,
I think to get to the college football playoff. I think
or
they
if,
have to win
if
out.
they could lose to like one more and then have like some teams win and lose.
Basically, to
basically
get
have
a
to win out.
bye, they have to
But
win.
they have to win out.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I think just going forward, I think he's gonna need to lock in a little bit, which I mean is very obviously that he can because, he's a really good player, one of the highest.
Yeah. And Ohio State does not have a tough schedule coming up.
No.
They play Penn State,
I mean,
Nebraska.
That's
Penn
tough.
State's
That's gonna
pretty
be a
good.
great
Yeah,
Penn State, really good team. Nebraska, I think that I
probably
don't
gonna
think they'll
roll.
win, but again,
what?
That's not a tough.
but
game.
I
Yeah,
think
that's what I said.
I think
Roll
Nebraska will bring
Yeah.
it. I think
they're
Nebraska
gonna
will bring
roll
it.
Nebraska.
I don't know, dude.
I think they're
How is Indiana ranked 16?
they're
they're
decent.
good.
I know they're. Have they played anyone though?
I don't know.
They just beat.
They play.
Or no, they didn't beat.
Don't
that-
they play Nebraska this week?
Let's see.
Yeah, they
Yeah, they play Nebraska this week, but
Yeah.
they haven't beat anyone. Oh wait, they beat UCLA. They beat UCLA pretty good.
Northwestern.
They beat Northwestern. Yeah.
Nothing really huge.
I mean, nothing
No, nothing
huge.
huge.
I think they're pretty overrated. Overrated.
All right.
And then that's
Ole
about
Miss.
it. We had for that game.
Ole
That's
Miss,
what I meant.
LSU.
And then Ole Miss LSU. We had really good game here too. Yeah. And then final score of that game was 29-26 to contradict our predictions. LSU won in OT. Pretty
Yeah, I think I-
crazy game from LSU. I mean,
I had LSU winning that. I think you two had Ole Miss,
I
right?
did
I
have
think
Ole
I
Miss.
think I had Ole Miss.
Yeah, I had LSU.
Here's some stat lines that we had from that game. Garrett Nussmeier, LSU quarterback, he had 2 picks but he still had 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he was throwing to his main receiver Kyron Lacey a lot. He had 111 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 22 yards per catch, which is really good. It's really good yards there. And then Aaron Anderson, also he was throwing to a lot. He had 81 yards, 3 receptions, on 3 receptions and a touchdown. And he had 27 yards per catch, which is also really good. They were getting a lot of yards per catch. They were really moving the ball upfield when they were catching it that game. And he would end up having a really crazy about 12-yard reception to send at the last within the last 30 seconds of the game to send it into overtime.
Yeah.
And pretty crazy performance out of them. And then later in that game, in overtime, Ole Miss started with the ball. They had a field goal, and then LSU had a touchdown to pull it out. And from Ole Miss side,
Jackson Dart, big
Dart, 187 yards,
And
1
they-
pick, 1 touchdown.
game. Yeah, Old Miss needs to win out now.
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
make the
they
college
do
football
for sure.
playoffs, so,
Yeah.
They're the 18. So they
Yeah,
definitely they're still
they-
behind by 6.
They did. Yeah, they have to.
Six,
They
yeah.
have to win out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just to say.
Yeah,
keep
for
it short
sure.
and sweet. They gotta win out.
Ulysses Bentley, he had 11 carries on 107 yards and a touchdown. Henry Parrish Jr., he had a tutty, but not really play great. But besides that, looking at yards per carry, he had he had 14 carries, and he was averaging 3 yards per carry, which isn't terrible. But
No.
I think they need to
Yeah,
perform
they need
a
a
lot
little
more.
bit more on it.
Especially out of a guy like him. I think they expected him to play a bigger role that game, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Both receivers, Trey Harris and Kane Lee, played really good. Both had a little over 14 yards
That's
a
really
catch, and they had 7 and 9 receptions.
Some
and
rack.
Yeah, for sure. On NFL, Cole, take it away.
All right. First game we had was 49ers first versus the Seahawks. I had the 49ers winning 27-17, and they won 36-24. More of an offensive game than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, for sure, to say the least. Yeah.
Weren't the
they-
Seahawks down big at one point, like
They were down.
Yeah,
They were down,
down 20-0.
20-3
Yeah.
or
You had
26-3.
20-3.
Yeah,
They were
I
down
had
23.
26-3, and everybody called me crazy, but I guess they did come back. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
anyways, the 49ers never fell behind, but
Yeah.
that it was a good game. It was a good Thursday night football game. That's what you
it
expect.
was. Yeah.
love to
Both
see the comeback.
the 49ers, their third string, Garendo had 100 yards, and him and Mason combined for 175
Yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah, I mean
They have a good running back.
Yeah,
core,
their running
really
back
good.
core is
Their room
insane.
is
I mean, considering Jordan
Those
Mason,
dudes could start on other
I
teams and be
know.
great. Like
especially
I don't know.
Jordan
I don't
Mason
know.
now Garendo is.
Because
in the
I don't know if
question.
Is
they
it
could
just
be
a
great
scheme? Do
on
you think
other
it's just a
teams. No,
scheme?
I think
Maybe not Garendo, but maybe Jordan
49ers
Mason for sure. could.
49ers have the best offensive line, I think, in the NFL. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just
Yeah.
having Trent Williams
and their
is a-
scheme, the
Trent
offensive
Williams
coordinator
is an
there is just
Yeah,
insane.
really
yeah,
good
Trent Williams
organization.
is an alien. He's like
Yeah.
6'9", 400
Yeah,
pounds.
Yeah.
he is crazy.
And he can run like a 4
Yeah,
or
yeah,
5.
he runs like a train.
I mean, imagine you're like, imagine that guy in high school and college football. You're like, you got some
yeah.
hard
Yeah,
classes,
exactly.
rough day, had like
And
a
then you-
hard math test, and you got to go out and.
You line up and you line against Trent Williams.
Yeah, I mean, I would just
taking my
stress
stuff
that
off, just
day.
going home.
Dude probably looks like he was 30. He was 14
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
crazy.
Purdy threw for 255 and 3 touchdowns.
Not a bad
Great game.
Yeah.
Debo 3 receptions, 102 yards and a touchdown. It's 34 yards a catch. It's really good.
Mhm. For sure. Yeah. Kenneth
Kittle
Walker.
2 touchdowns, turning it up.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the number 1 tight end right now.
Kittle, yeah.
Fantasy wise.
Yeah, fantasy wise for sure, and I think he overall probably like
Yeah.
if you want like if
You want
they're-
blocker, run block, like
Yeah, overall
he's-
tight
He's
end.
a whole
he's
package.
fast. Yeah,
Whole package.
for sure. I like he's not showing any signs of slowing down. Like
No.
Travis Kelce's been. I mean, this
Yeah.
season really letting him
Taylor Swift
down.
effect.
I guess. Yeah,
Um,
he needs to change that haircut and that mustache.
Oh,
and
yeah.
God, it's
I
just-
like the mustache. He looks nice with the mustache.
Yeah, I guess, but that haircut is just.
Yeah, it's atrocious.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not great.
Geno threw for 312 yards, no touchdowns.
yeah.
Sorry.
Walker.
Or
He
he
did
had
have
a
a
Tyler,
touchdown.
yeah, Tyler
Yeah,
Lockett
Tyler
tutty.
Lockett. My bad.
But Kenneth Walker had a touchdown,
Touchdown
too.
and-
Good to see
yeah.
him back and playing
Tyler
good.
Lockett, that dude has been in the league for a long
Yeah.
time. He knows when to take a hit and when not to take a hit.
Yeah, we always joke around about how he's not the greatest yards per catch guy because every time he catches the ball, it's
He just goes down.
he
He
secures.
he
He
doesn't-
just
yeah.
secure
doesn't-
catch.
That's
He doesn't
longevity,
get
though,
hit.
man.
yeah,
Like,
that exactly.
and he's always been good. He's
Yeah,
always a
if you're-
1,000-yard receiver.
If you're
Really
taking
smart.
hits, I don't know if he would be able to last as long as
No.
he is.
No, it's really
Sure, no
smart.
way.
why
Like
not?
that's
it's really
the
smart.
smartest thing you could do. Because
Uh-huh.
I don't know how much yards is he really gonna get after.
Yeah,
Especially when you're only
how old is
5'10".
he? Yeah,
Yeah,
how
I
5'10",
mean,
how old he is.
Just
Yeah.
sitting down, taking your yards is smart. Smart
Uh-huh.
thing to
Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on.
do. Ravens Commanders.
Oh
big game.
wow, great,
Great game.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
game.
Offensive, like we said, the Ravens take it by 7. I think I had Ravens by 7, but not the right score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, 270 and 2
I
touchdowns.
really
Scary
like him.
Terry McLaurin.
Huge game.
Scary Terry.
Both of his
touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
really
he had 6 receptions and like 50 yards. But
looking like one of the best guys in the
Yeah.
league with.
he
Jaden
finally
Daniels
has a
throwing
quarterback.
him.
That's
yeah.
that's exciting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's-
think he would have been a guy underlooked his whole career had he not gotten a guy in
For
like
sure.
Jaden Daniels.
They could last. They could make a,
I know,
a
they
Yeah,
could.
they
real
could
good
do
team.
something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kept seeing headlines before that game about if they thought Daniels was going to outplay Lamar that game, and I don't know if
Not really.
I mean, not really to say the least. It shows
if
shows
he
that
played any
vet
other quarter,
being a
any
vet
other,
doesn't matter.
yeah, any other team, I think he would have been the leading quarterback. But I mean, Lamar's just
Lamar's
And that defense is really good.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
really,
that, the
yeah.
rushing game could not get going. I think they combined for like 50 yards, including Jaden Daniels, who was the leading rusher with 22 yards.
Mhm.
Not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a rough D.
Yeah.
They're real good on defense.
Yeah,
Gotta-
Derrick Henry had 132 yards, 2
Yeah,
touchdowns.
still
Yeah.
big game.
Yeah.
Big fantasy game for him.
He pretty much leads every stat except for yards per carry, which he still has like 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
big fantasy
God,
game
how
for him.
I'm still
he's
just
crazy.
can't fathom why I didn't draft him. I mean,
And
I
everyone thought he was just
wash,
not
wash,
gonna-
wash.
Yeah.
but Clearly, he's in the
Yeah.
peak of his career.
Lamar threw for 323 and a touchdown.
Derrick Henry, 2
Z-
touchdowns, 130 yards, big game.
Zay Flowers turned it
Yeah.
up. 9 receptions, 132 yards.
Yeah, I think he's a guy like
He's gonna be-
He's really young and he still
I
has.
feel
I
like
think he's overlooked and he has a lot of potential.
yeah.
because they
for
have so many
sure.
weapons on that team.
Where did he go to college? Ohio State?
No, it
No,
was.
No, was
He's
it
a-
Washington?
Do you go to Oklahoma?
Someone
I
look it
think
up.
it could have been
Look it up.
Oklahoma. It might have been Oklahoma.
Flowers.
College.
He went to Boston College.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was thinking of the right.
That's right.
Yeah.
yeah,
That-
not a
that's
color.
same
You had the
burgundy
right
color.
color.
Yeah,
You
her
had the
same
right color.
burgundy color there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Rowan Dunze.
Mhm.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about
Oh
it.
no, I got one more.
Fantasy. Or
The
fantasy.
trade.
Oh, yeah.
Devontae
Oh,
Adams.
yeah.
Boom. Come on.
The
Bam.
Jets get Devontae
shed-
Adams for a 3rd-round pick.
That shed a tear in
He had to-
theology class after hearing that.
Yeah.
So happy.
this
I
is
think
a-
they had to get rid of him. He wasn't gonna play. They were
Wasn't.
wasting his. They
Didn't
had to
like it.
get rid of Cap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this Jets. I mean, you should kind of keep hearing news about the Jets
One
at
of
this
the-
point. I mean, it's
I,
pretty
I
crazy.
think it's the best wide receiver core in the league. I mean,
I
you go.
don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, Garrett
Dude,
Wilson.
Garrett hasn't
Wilson.
even caught a pass yet. You can't say that.
It doesn't matter. Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
He's a
He hasn't
stud.
caught a
He's
pass yet. He's
stud.
30 years
no,
old.
yeah, I need to see something.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough yet.
On paper, I think the Jets have
Yeah, fair.
a top,
Yeah.
easily a top,
Top five.
three.
Top
Top
five.
three, I think.
Okay.
I mean, him, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson.
it was a
Alan
big
Lazard,
week
who had
for
a big
trades.
game.
We also had an Amari Cooper
yeah,
to the Bills.
The Bills.
Yeah,
For
trading.
that was a pretty good. That was a solid trade. I
Yeah.
think they got a 1st and a 3rd
Fairly fair.
for Amari Cooper and a 3rd. That's
pretty
fair. I'd say Amari Cooper's worth the 1st round.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that was
I
it.
think we're
About
good there.
it.
All right.
Peace out.
Thank
See
you
ya.
guys.